Hello people, I am back. I don't feel like setting up the camera because I want to get this out immediately. This is Star Trek Discovery episode 8 of season 3, The Sanctuary. And let me tell you about this episode, so please stay tuned. Guys, oh my goodness. This episode was awesome of Star Trek Discovery. I'm going to go into a little bit of the spoiler-free reviews, and then we'll get into the bread and butter, okay? I love this episode. It was so good. Wilson Cruz did a damn good job. And so did Michelle Yeoh. They interacted in the first part. Like, it was great. Great. Very great. And on another note, we got to see these characters come together, right? Like Noah, Acrobat Katz, and Mary Wiseman. I kid you not, they hit it out of the park of this episode. And also Detmer and the actor who plays Detmer, and Noah Acrobat Katz hit it. Like, they were on point with this episode. Doug Jones was on point with this episode. It's like, we got these actors who are coming together with a fantastic episode. Fantastic episode. It's like, I don't know what to say. And Grudge, OMG, he was so funny. The cat Grudge. I'll get into that about that. And I'm gonna do a full review on that too about Grudge and Ren, because that was a fucking funny piece of shit too. And if I can, I'll probably I'm not. Just go watch the episode and you'll see what I'm talking about. Alright, guys, I'm not going to say any more about the spoiler-free reviews because I gotta say it was a damn good episode. The action, everything. We got to see everything unfold. We got to see everybody unfold in this episode. So, stop right there. Go see the episode. If you haven't seen it already, then come back and we'll talk. So we start out with Colbert and Giorgio talking, right? And she's trying to figure out what's going on with her. And he wants to help her, but she's refusing it. You know, like she's being a dick. Like, I don't need your help, human. Acting like the sadistic Terran she really is. And she's like, okay, I don't need your help. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm not going to go into what she said because obviously it's just them talking. So, they're going to run tests on them, right? Meanwhile, Saru and Burnham and them are walking, and Ren wants to talk to him. Like, he fully recovered and he wants to talk to him. So, meanwhile, Book is getting his transmissions and stuff, and he wants to go see his brother help him out. Not Ren. Book. Brain fart. So, we got to see them interacting and stuff. And Saru's talking, you know, like, because Book, I don't know, Book wants to go home, right? But I think it's later on, but sorry I'm getting mixed up. I just saw the episode, my heart is racing right now because of it. So we got to see them, like, interact and shit, right? Because, you know, Saru and Tilly were walking, and they go and they find out that SB-19 was the cause, but it was something. And they were talking about, they found the origin of the music was a Starfleet distress signal in a nebula that might be the cause of the burn. We don't know. So they want to go and rescue that ship. But Saru goes to Admiral Vance and tells him, saying, we gotta go there and help them. He's like, we can't. He's like, well, we can go there as a diplomatic corps and be there for like research. And he agrees, so they take Book over, and him and Burnham beam down, right? And they're on the planet. Meanwhile, Ren barges in yelling, like being a bit vindictive. I am kidding you not. Noah Acrobat Cats knocked it out of the fucking park. Sorry for the F-bomb. But he knocked it out of the park, acting exactly like an Andorian would. Being disrespectful, being arrogant. And that was the truth to the matter to the T. I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot. So they're there and they're finding out that there's a galactic cruiser or something like that coming. It was Osira. But before that, Osira had her nephew killed because he let Ren the Andorian go. He fucked things up. He killed him with a transform. So meanwhile, while they're on the planet, you know, Book and Burnham and stuff like that, they're talking to the brother, and he's like, no, we want Ren the Andorian. And Ren is there talking to the captain, saying, look, I need to get out of here. I want to do this and that. You know, he's arguing with the captain. Till he's like, you need to respect the captain. He's like, okay, let's respect this and all that shit. And he's acting, like, really bad. Meanwhile, they're running tests on Giorgio later on to find out she's dying. Which is pretty stupid. So then we get Ren, who stays on Discovery, and Saru has to fight the Emerald Chain. He has to think, okay, do I risk the Federation and fight? Because Osira comes on there and starts talking crap. And he's like, so, wait, they said we want Ren. We want Ren. You better give me Ren or I'll do something to you. And he's like, we can't give him. He's like, on my ship. On my ship. I can't just give him up. And, you know, she's like, he has a contract. And now we want him. And he's like, well, I'm not going to give him up. You know, like, he's port safety on our ship or something like that. And then he has to make a decision whether or not to engage her because she's putting a threatening stance towards the planet. Well, she's throwing torpedoes on the planet because, you know, everybody there, she's telling them, saying, I want Book and anybody who he came down with. Because, you know, Ren wants to go down there. He owes Book. But he doesn't know what to do about it. So then meanwhile, you know, Saru's like, you know what, let's do it. And then, wait, we have a ship that can do it. Book ship. So they want to take Book's ship, and Ren takes Book's ship with Detmer, and they're fighting. And he's like, I know the weaknesses of Osira's ship. He says, while I was down in the planet, you know, serving as a slave, I studied her ship. I know her weaknesses. So him and Detmer go, and they do all this crazy ass shit. And then all of a sudden, Grudge jumps on him, and he's like, what is this? What is this? He's freaking the fuck out. Saying, what is this? What is this? And then Detmer's like, that's a cat. He's like, what? Is that a pet? Is this a pet? And he's holding Grudge, shaking the fuck off, which... Oh my god, I loved it. Oh my god. It was funny. So funny. Meanwhile, Book and his brother, while Ren and them are fighting and destroying Osira to the point where she can't fight no more and she ends up leaving. And she's like, this is not over. Now you just made a war with me. Ooh! Bantay gonna be happy! Ooh! I guess I was gonna have to make up a little white lie for that shit. Okay, guys, let me get back to the episode. But Ren freaked the fuck out with Grudge, which was funny. And then he dropped Grudge like, okay, I'm done with you, Grudge. Meanwhile, Detmer's flying like a pro kicking ass. And it was a kick-ass episode. Forgot to mention that in the spoilers. Free review, but whatever. So then we get, you know, Ren coming. They get back on the ship. And, Ren is sitting there by him lonesome while everybody else is talking. Meanwhile, Giorgio finds out she's dying. And, you know, you know, Culber says, I'm going to help you. And they don't take Burnham, but they take her, and that's it. Meanwhile, Ren's sitting by himself, and he doesn't want to disclose anything because he's just frightened, And he sits down, and he's like, I was born into the Emerald Chain. He's telling Tilly this, which the interaction with both of them was on par. And he's like, they're desperate. They're running out of dilithium. They're very fucking desperate. He doesn't say the F word, but he says they're very desperate. And he says, I was raised into the Emerald Chain thinking that the Federations were nothing. That, I don't know what he said. He said that the Federation were bad people, that this, and that about the Federation, like all bad things about the Federation. And Tilly tells him, saying that's not what we are, and tells him about the Federation a little bit. And then he's like, I can't... And then he tells Tilly this. Nobody else saying that I know why the Emerald Chain is like this. They're desperate. They're desperate. They're desperate. They're running out of dilithium. Because when he was on the ship, he's like, oh my god. Because Detmer says you were standing up to Osira. And she's like, how do you know that? He's like, it's just a hunch. And then she tells him, saying, look, you're going to be brave and we're going to face her and all that shit. Like, she made his confidence come back up. He's like, I'm going to get vaporized for this. She's like, I guess we're going to get ourselves killed, but we'll see what happens. And she kicked ass in that scene. Because, Ren kicked ass too. And him and Tilly were talking and gave him his confidence. Like, he was like, yeah. He cleaned himself up a lot in the episode, which was very good. And I was just watching the episode, and I'm like, what the heck is going on here? It's like they're coming together, and here they are talking to each other. And Tilly tells him about the Federation, saying, it's not that. That's not the Federation. And he was grown up teaching the wrong things because of the Emerald Chain, and Osira teaching the Andorians the wrong way. Like, what the... Your problem, woman. And now they're gonna start a war because with her. And I think Ren had the guts to stand up to her, saying, you know what, I'm done. We're done with you. We don't want you no more. You're teaching us wrong. Like, he wants to stand up to her, and I feel gut of that. Like, this was a damn good episode, and I'm sorry I'm going too short on this review. But there's nothing else I could say, but the acting, the par with Tilly and Ren were very on par. It's like, I think that it was like they're getting, what do you say, becoming best friends and stuff like that. And Ren is just being somebody, like, now he's a wanted person on there, and Osira's evil as hell. Like, they want to lash back for being in slavery all that long. Like, you know what? I don't get it with these Orions, but I think that this is going to be the end of Osira, because she got attacked, and she knows that Ren knows her secrets. And if Ren would have tell Admiral Vance all this information, saying that this is what's going on, this is their weaknesses, they can get Starfleet to mount an attack on her, probably. We don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see what happens. But if you like this episode, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and leave a comment down below, and let's discuss the episode. And I'll see you next time in my next video.